It was a tough night for the challengers here at UFC 268. Oscar Willis from the Mac Life joining me to talk a little matchmaker for Colby Covington and Zhang Weili, who fall short in their title opportunities here in New York. Obviously start with Colby Covington, who lost a unanimous decision to Kamaru Usman in the rematch. He had a great late couple rounds of the fight after a rough start, but ultimately does not get the job done. He feels otherwise. He thought he won the decision, but the judges felt otherwise, and he comes to the press conference here, and he went right back to work. You know, he's saying, I want the third fight against Usman. I'm going to get there by beating Jorge Masvidal. He should pull out of the fight against Leon Edwards, and we should just set that up right away so they don't ruin it. Is this the clear fight for Colby Covington? No matter if Masvidal wins or loses that fight against Leon Edwards, do you have to do the grudge match, or do you see anything else that makes sense?
No, there's nothing else that makes sense. I mean, I actually, while I could, kind of roll my eyes that he went straight back into character and was repeating some of the same lines, I did appreciate he was trying to set up the next fight already. I don't think Jorge's going to pull out of that fight with Leon, but win or lose, win, Masvidal's not getting a rematch with Usman right now. Lose, it's still the one, they're both off losses, it's still the most interesting fight. So I appreciate Colby chasing that fight, and I hope that, for some reason about that fight, it just feels like one of those ones that we're just not going to see, or it's going to be really hard to get made. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it felt like it was going to happen before. He said he wanted to coach tough. I could see that. I could see him doing that. I can't imagine the return of the Ultimate Fighter was like the rip-roaring, exciting success they anticipated this last season. So
I didn't watch a second of it.
No, I didn't even know it had finished. I saw something about snakes, but I think that's the fight. It's the only fight.
Yeah, it's got to be it. So we'll see what happens if they end up doing that. Obviously, just a month away that those two will go at it. But what about Zhang Weili? She's in this difficult spot, kind of similar to Covington, the 2 losses to the current title holder. Obviously, there's Mark Raimondi. What's your opinion, Mark? Who do you think Colby Covington should fight next? Is it got to be Masvidal? Is there any options besides Jorge Masvidal, or does it have to be that, whether he wins or loses against Leon Edwards for Colby?
Who's Leon Scott?
Never heard of him.
Who was Colby talking about? Leon Scott. I just have to say one thing. USA Today. Colby Covington has said a lot of terrible things over the years, right? And he's got a lot of controversial, a lot of polarizing lines. He really took a step too far this evening at Madison Square Garden, and I'll leave you with that.
All right, thanks. Guest cameo by Mark Raimondi there, but back to Zhang Weili.
It's because he criticized a wrestling promotion. That's what Mark's getting at.
Oh, yeah, Mark, we know the wrestling homer. Anyways, back to business here. This thing's going off.
I was being facetious.
Get out of here, Mark. But back to the obviously co-main event. Zhang Weili, what do you think makes sense for her? Obviously, 2 losses to Rose now. She's not going to get that third fight right away. I think the UFC probably shouldn't have done this rematch right away because they wanted to push the China market again by trying to get her the belt, but it didn't work out. What do you think? She kind of turned down the idea of a fight against her fellow countrywoman and doing another fight against Yan Xiaonan.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and so do you think that's an option? I mean, what strawweight fight do you like for Weili?
I'm actually glad they did the immediate rematch because I bet that they would and made some money that they booked that immediate rematch because I knew Dana loves those Chinese monies. I don't know the currency of China, so that's why I said monies. I think she should fight Mackenzie Dern. Off the top of my head, I think we might be entering a stage where in that division, Rose, Zhang, and Joanna are like 1, 2, and 3, and then there might be a big drop off between everyone else. We don't know because Joanna doesn't fight, and we've only seen these 2 go at it. So, but in the meantime, loss versus loss makes sense to me. Mackenzie Dern versus Zhang Weili, and that's actually an interesting stylistic fight. I think that's. I mean, obviously, if it's on the feet, Zhang Weili's going to win it, but.
I like that idea. I also wouldn't rule out the idea of her going to 125. I think that could possibly be there. She has talked about doing that before, but I think you just said the name there. The fight that makes sense for me is Joanna and Jacek. Do the rematch of the epic fight of the year. Both, coming off losses. They both want the title shot again. They both want to, do all these similar career goals.
It's not for a belt. I think that's a bigger fight for a belt.
I mean, there may not be that option at this point. So. Anyways, this thing is going late. We picked some fights here. Thank you, Oscar Willis, for joining me. We are going to get the hell home here. It has been a very long night. Thanks for watching.